Nobody knows. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo's hidden love story on this mysterious island will leave you breathless. In a world overflowing with cameras, controversies, and constant noise, there are stories that remain untouched, stories too delicate for headlines, too sacred for social media. Today, we unveil one such story. A love affair so quiet, so powerful, it bloomed where no one was watching. What if two of Korea's most beloved stars, Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo, shared a romance far away from flashing lights and gossip columns? What if, hidden on a forgotten island surrounded by sea and silence, their hearts spoke the truth they could never say in public? From secret departures to misty mornings, midnight confessions, and soul-deep kisses, this is a story you will never forget. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let your imagination sail to a place where time stands still and love tells its own tale. And before we dive into this breathtaking journey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of entertainment, romance, and secrets whispered between the stars. A journey into the unknown. It began with a journey shrouded in mystery. No press releases. No public statements. Just two separate departures from two different airports. Weeks apart. Lee Min-ho had been spotted in Seoul wearing sunglasses and a hoodie, boarding a private flight. Fans speculated he was taking time off. A break from the spotlight. No one knew his destination. Song Hye Kyo had quietly slipped away days later. No entourage. No stylists. Just a single piece of luggage and a plane ticket that vanished from public records. Both arrived separately at a hidden dock in the southern region of Jeju. There, an old fisherman waited beside a small boat, a vessel weathered by salt and time. No logos. No markings. Just the sea in front of them. They boarded the boat in silence. The sky above was gray, moody, heavy with secrets. And the island they approached? It had no name on any map. A place so forgotten, it felt like a dream. The island of forgotten time. The island was covered in mist. Dense forests reached toward the sky, their branches whispering stories to the wind. Wildflowers grew in the cracks of stone paths. Seagulls circled overhead like guardians of something sacred. Nestled deep within the woods stood a villa. Ancient, ivy-covered, built with weathered stone and memories. The front gate creaked open as they approached. Inside, the world changed. Tall windows filled the rooms with golden light. Shelves lined with old books and handwritten letters. A fireplace that still smelled of ash and warmth. A grand piano, untouched for years, stood in the corner of the drawing room. This was not their first time here. The dust had settled long ago, but the memories remained alive. This was their place. Their sanctuary. A home away from reality. Love in the quiet moments. For days, they disappeared into silence. No phones. No scripts. Just the quiet rhythm of two people rediscovering what it meant to be present. Mornings began with Song Hye Kyo making jasmine tea in the small stone kitchen. She would sit by the window, painting with watercolors, her brush moving softly as if guided by emotion rather than sight. Lee Min-ho would sit in the garden with a leather-bound notebook, writing in long, poetic sentences. Sometimes he would look up from his journal, gaze at her through the window, and smile. In the afternoons, they walked through the pine trees, hand in hand, not speaking, just listening to the birds, the breeze, and the sound of their steps sinking into the soft earth. And every evening, they danced. They would light candles in the drawing room. Lee Min-ho would place a vinyl record on the player. Old jazz melodies would echo through the villa. And they would sway together, her head resting on his shoulder, his arms wrapped gently around her. The world outside did not exist. A past that was never truly over. This island was not a spontaneous escape. It had history. Years ago, they had come here after filming separate projects. Back then, they were just friends, or so the world thought. But something had always been there. Something that neither dared to speak about. A magnetic pull. A shared silence. An understanding that words would only complicate what their hearts already knew. The island had witnessed their first laughter, their first long talks by the fireplace, and perhaps even their first kiss, a secret that had never been spoken out loud, even between them. Now, older, wiser, and more fragile than before, they had returned. Not to escape life, but to finally live it. The rain, the fire, the confession. One night, the rain came down harder than ever. Thunder rolled across the sky, and the sea thrashed against the cliffs. Inside the villa, a fire burned in the hearth. They sat close, the flickering light dancing on their faces. "I thought I forgot how to feel this," she said softly. He looked at her, eyes filled with storm and softness. "I never stopped," he replied. She placed her hand on his chest. His heartbeat answered hers. They kissed. Not out of passion, but out of surrender. Time ceased. The storm became background noise. The only reality was the space between their lips, the silence that wrapped around them like fate. It was not a kiss of beginning, nor of end. It was a kiss of truth. The morning after forever. The next morning, the island was reborn. The sky opened up to reveal shades of blue too pure to describe. Birds sang louder. The trees stood taller. They walked down to the beach barefoot. Waves gently caressed their toes. The wind played with her hair. He looked at her, not as a celebrity, not as a goddess of the screen, but as the woman he had loved for what felt like a lifetime. And she looked at him, not as Korea's most desirable actor, but as the man who understood her soul when no one else could. They sat together on the rocks, watching the sea stretch out into the horizon. No plans. No timelines. Just the promise of presence. A goodbye without ending. Eventually, it was time to go. Not because the love had faded, but because reality was calling. The world needed them. Projects were waiting. Fans were watching. Schedules were filling. They stood by the boat once more. The fisherman said nothing, simply nodding. He had seen many stories begin and end, but never one like this. "I will come back," he said, touching her cheek. She smiled. "You never really left." They embraced. Long, deep. Timeless. Then he stepped onto the boat. She stood at the edge of the dock, the wind blowing through her hair, watching him drift away into the fog. But it was not goodbye. Because some love stories do not need endings. They live on in memories, in silence, in every wave that kisses the shore of that forgotten island. And just like that, the island fades into mist once again. Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo have returned to their lives under the spotlight, but somewhere, tucked away from the world's gaze, their story lives on, in soft glances, in unsaid words, in the silence between waves. Was it real? Was it imagined? Or was it the kind of love that only needs to be felt once to last a lifetime? Maybe we'll never know for sure. But one thing is certain, the heart remembers what the mind cannot explain. Thank you for joining us on this emotional, cinematic journey. If your soul is still echoing with the sound of that secret island breeze, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another unforgettable update from the world of entertainment and stories that speak beyond the screen. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep feeling, and keep watching closely. Because the next secret might be just a heartbeat away.